What's going on, guys? Tim Roswick here, and today we are going to talk about the number one indie game dev mistake that I see happening everywhere. And this, seriously, before I get into this, seriously, this has been the number one thing that has held me back in every conceivable way possible in my game development. It's held me back in life, it's held me back in business, it's held me back in so many different ways because it has prevented me from taking the necessary action, getting stuff out there, making stuff, and actually diving right in and actually doing the things required to make a game, make it successful, and actually improve. And the thing that I want to talk about, the number one biggest handicap that I see, the biggest problem for game developers is the biggest handicap. Hear me out here. Did I play it up enough? Does it need more build up? I don't know. The biggest handicap that I see game developers have is the fact that they think they have a handicap. That's it. Like, when people think that they cannot do something, guess what? They can't. I have, for so many years, just for whatever reason, thought that I wasn't capable of doing something. And when your brain does that, in that split second, like, oh, should I make a game? Oh, wait, but you can't. When your brain shuts you down like that, in that split second, you are single-handedly altering the course of your life, of your game, of your projects, of everything. Your brain just can shut you down in that second. And if you let yourself tell you that you can't do something, it's gone forever. That thing that you would have created in an alternate timeline has just disappeared. It's never going to exist because you never made it. And the thing that I have really struggled with is, and I've mentioned this in a few videos, in the college video and a couple different places, but when I want to do something and I have no knowledge about it. So, like, for example, when I started with YouTube and I wanted to share my game dev stuff with you guys, I didn't know anything about it at first. Like, this goes back a long time ago because I've worked with cameras and video and stuff for a long time, but I always thought, like, okay, I wanted to make a video, I want to make a cool video like some of the cool people on YouTube. Of course, I want to share my content with you guys, but I also want to make like cool stylistic video, and I don't really know how. And when my brain just said, oh, but you can't do that, so I didn't try. And for a while, when I started this channel, I stuck to the whiteboard format because that was something that I knew how to do. And I didn't even try anything else because my brain just, for a split second, just said, no, you can't do it. You can't do it. I did this in video games with procedural generation. For the longest time, I wanted to make a game that was randomly generated. And I would play all these games. Like, I'd play FTL, I'd play Out There, I'd play a couple of these titles that I just loved. I loved them to death. And every time I think about, oh, should I make a procedural generated game? And then I'd just be like, oh, but you can't. Damn it. Can't make it. And to me, that just seemed perfectly normal. Like, and I would just tell myself, oh, I would make that if I knew how to do it. And I just made these excuses to myself, like there was some valid reason that I couldn't. And this has been something that really, like, I've learned a lot of stuff from Google. Almost everything I know, I've taught myself, or I've learned from people, I've learned from the internet. But very specific things, especially specialized things, or things that I don't feel that that outsiders can learn easily, I shut myself off from. And it has really impacted my life to a point where there are so many things that I think I could have created by now that I didn't because I thought that I couldn't. And that's why I say the biggest handicap people in general, not just indie game developers, but especially with indie game developers, because they're artists and they like to create. Anybody that has an artistic, creative side about them, wants to create things, very often it can be really easy to get that handicap of, like, you can't do these certain things, you can't do, or the low self-esteem or the self-worth that comes with just thinking that other people know better than you. And I see it a lot in other people, I see it a lot in myself, but it took me a while. And one of the ways that I overcame that instant, like, mental barrier of you can't is I just adapted a mindset of yes, I can. And rather than asking, can I do this? Because then my brain would respond with yes or no. I would ask, how can I do this? And then my brain would start working on solutions on how to do these different things. And I noticed by switching what I asked from can I to how can I, and I think I read about this in a psychology journal or something like that, but it was a massive technique that it really helped my effectiveness in how I did things and how I thought of myself when I would perform new tasks. And it really helped me a lot. It really changed the way my mind worked, because now it's no longer a question of whether or not I can do it, but it's like, how am I going to do it? And now I like, seriously, like when people talk to me and my family or my friends or whatever, I think it's kind of to the point where it's annoying, because no matter what they say, I call them on their bullshit. I'm like, no, you can do it. You don't want to do it. That's the thing. You can do it. You're making an excuse. Everything is possible. Literally, everything is possible. Anything you could think of, you can do. Like, there has been so many achievements by so many great people in technology alone in the last like 10 years. Like, our society is in the middle of a drastic shift. It's a technological innovation age, right? The internet has only been around for 30 some years. That's insane. That's insane. That's insane to me, that like this groundbreaking technology is rapidly changing the way the whole entire world works. And if you think for 1 second, with all of the knowledge known to man at your fingertips, that you can't do something, you're mistaken. Like, seriously, there's nothing you can't do. And when it comes to games, I see so many people that think we're in a small community, that this community is tiny, that there are not enough game developers, and they can't find people to talk to. There are millions and millions and millions of game developers out there. The game industry is bigger than movies and music combined. Okay, it is. You can find so many people to connect with and share your things with, and do whatever you want to do, because and you can help support them and they can help support you, and you guys can get through that rut of thinking that you can't do something, because you can. Trust me, you can. And again, this is coming from a dude that dropped out of college, that nobody thought was going anywhere, that like, seriously, like, my whole life has been a series of doing things that other people thought I couldn't do, that I didn't think I could do. And that barrier has held me back for a long time, but I've fought through it. And I hope that I inspired you to do the same, because when I see someone that doesn't think they can do something, it just kills me, especially in a creative and artistic field like game development, because we may never see that person's game, that person's creation, if they just don't create it. And I think the game industry needs more beautiful indie games from you lovely people. So that's my message for today. Once again, I'm Tim Ruswick. I'll see you guys in the next video.